From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast with Scott Sander.
Welcome to the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast. I'm Scott Sander. On this episode, we get tips on how to find and retain quality employees. That's in running your business day to day. Our industry focus takes a look at collaborative workspaces that are springing up around our community. And today's success story introduces you to the always fascinating Scott Jones, known for making voicemail a success. Now he's focused on software development and cybersecurity.
Every business is unique and has a target audience. If you own or manage a business, Circulus Digital Media can help you connect and grow your customer base with turnkey digital solutions that are nimble, offering best-in-class results, service, and support to reach a bigger customer base, allowing you to pinpoint a specific audience down to the smallest details. Get outside the city, the state, span the globe. Put Circulus Digital Media to work for you. Get started now at circulusdigital.com. That's circulusdigital.com.
Welcome back to Business, Equity, and Opportunities. This week on Running Your Business Day to Day, we get some sound advice about finding and keeping good employees in today's very challenging business environment.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Getting started.
Kathy Langham is the president and CEO of Langham Logistics, a company that, under her leadership, has become a leading women's business enterprise in Indianapolis. She's considered an expert in the field of supply chain solutions and is often sought after to consult with various state and industry organizations. Kathy shares some of her thoughts on the biggest things you need to consider when starting a new business and offers ideas on how to retain a solid staff.
A couple of the biggest things that a new entrepreneur needs to think about is, number one, having the right people around them. So whether that's an employee or a mentor or a customer, really to be thoughtful about who can I learn the most from, or who can be most accretive to what I'm trying to do. So that is big. Tenacity is big. Don't, forget about sleeping at night, because you're working day and night, and just continuing to build strong relationships, whether it's bankers, whether it's, for me, truckers, whether it's customers, whether it's employees. Build strong relationships, be thoughtful, keep your eyes open, be willing to learn. Don't think you've got all the answers. Just bring people into your life that can really help you. This is a time of high turnover, for all of us. So we really have to be diligent about how we're helping our customers, our employees grow and feel happy with their role here. And a lot of it is around listening to them, adhering to your core values, listening, teamwork, respect for each other, and people have to feel respected or they won't stay. Ongoing training. We've got a cornerstone program, software program, where we assign training every quarter to each employee. Because really, I believe that at the end of the year, you should be able to update your resume and have learned new things. And that's satisfying to our team. We have something called the Culture Club, which is every month we do something, whether it's pumpkin carving contest or ice cream or chili cook-off or whatever, to help our teams feel that we care about them. We're looking out for them. Of course, fair compensation, and just continuing to thank them and be part of their lives and care about what's happening in their lives. Really, that is the biggest thing. People want to feel appreciated, and in this day and age, more than ever. I get asked a lot about the importance of networking and being involved in the community, and I really did that from the very beginning. When you never think, there are never enough hours in the day. Work will expand to fill the time you give it. So there's always plenty more work to do. It is an effort to take a step back and get out in the community and get involved. But it makes, for a lot of reasons, it makes a lot of difference. Number one, you're adding value. Number two, you always get more than you give when you invest in things like that. And number three, the business possibilities are very strong. So you're meeting with potential customers or someone that can help you grow your business. So it's important, and you're making a difference. And by the way, once you get involved and people know that you will be there and you will do what you say you will do, you will get other opportunities. And you'll be fine. Keep working.
Many small businesses are taking advantage of the benefits of a cooperative working environment. Shared office space can mean a huge cost savings in equipment, personnel, and rent. And many people find working in a community setting offers priceless opportunities to network. We take a look at some of the options in today's Industry Focus.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Industry Focus.
We had a chance to visit two of the many shared workspaces that are finding success in Indianapolis, Cohatch and Indy Maven. Each are providing valuable opportunities for small businesses to grow in cooperative environments.
One of our partners in this endeavor to create the foundations and the infrastructure to support startup sustainability of Black businesses is Cohatch. So Cohatch, we're here today, is a co-working space. Two brothers from Columbus, Ohio, who just entrepreneurs who saw the need in their community as far as having a space where entrepreneurs could come together, not taking on the overhead of getting an office space and a building space and carrying that. You just have a space where it's a small office space, but you're around other entrepreneurs. You share resources, share ideas, but it's within your community, right? You don't have to leave that. So they decided to come to Indianapolis and sat down with us and talked about how do we make this available for minority entrepreneurs, minority businesses. So for years in Indianapolis, there have been conversations about co-working spaces, but we were dependent on the city, and the city wanted to create one, but the city was wondering, how do we keep this sustainable? If we spend the dollars up front, we're not going to keep spending the dollars, so how do we keep it sustainable? But a private entity with entrepreneurial principles around it has built a space that's going to be sustainable, but accessible to the people that need it the most as well. So emerging entrepreneurs, emerging business owners can't operate in a vacuum. They need to be around an environment that fosters entrepreneurship, right? Risk-taking, ideas, supports, marketing, accounting, insurance. Like, I have to be around those environments so that way, one is it limits my cost to start a business because I'm sharing resources, but also an environment that encourages entrepreneurship, right? You need those days that you just need a pat on the back. You need the days that you just want to feel like you're not crazy, right? That your ideas actually could work. As an entrepreneur, being around those spaces, being around that kind of environment encourages and fosters growth. So the thing about entrepreneurship as well is, entrepreneurship is hard. Starting a business is hard. A lot of businesses fail. But even if you do fail, the one thing that doesn't leave you is the entrepreneurial mindset. The mindset of solving problems, taking risks, right? That mindset also is not prevalent in a lot of our communities, right? So entrepreneurship is really the path. Starting a business, the gig economy, so many things, so many opportunities today. But how do we teach and create those spaces here in Indianapolis? If we're gonna build something from scratch, which is what we're doing when it comes to supporting and accelerating Black business growth, there's no playbook, right? So we're creating a playbook. So we can't create that playbook based on yesterday's ideas. We have to design for the future and create an environment where there are new ideas and new ways of doing things. So we have a unique opportunity to lead that. Spaces like Cohatch, where we are today, drives that. You walk in here and you're around nothing but entrepreneurs. Everyone is trying to solve a problem, is trying to generate capital, is trying to generate revenue to build their businesses. So when you get plugged into that, entrepreneurs and people who want to start a business, who have great ideas, get plugged into this kind of infrastructure, it fosters growth, it encourages them. So we're so grateful for our partnership with Cohatch because they've brought something to Indianapolis for years that the city has been trying to create. Today, in less than 2 years, they built 4 of these spaces So we're excited about the partnership. We love coming in here. We just feel smarter when we come in. I tell people you win championships by being around good players or playing with good players. And environments like this have nothing but good players and nothing but entrepreneurs that help drive you as well.
So at Cerulean, we focused on serving youth, women, and communities of color. So when I was looking for an office space, it was very important to me to select an office that had a strong network of women, honestly, folks who I could identify with personally, but also maybe support the growth of their brands. The networking was key. At Maven Space, they prioritize women and creating a space that has a room for nursing mothers, as I will soon be. And also they have events that provide networking opportunities with community members. I could have easily chosen to get a standalone office space in a office building in any part of Indianapolis, but I wanted to be at the heart of downtown in community with other women business owners at that, who understood not only my struggles and we could support one another, but also provided me an option to network and grow and provide support to them as well. When you choose a collaborative workspace, a co-working space as they're often called, the benefit of that is if you're encountering a particular challenge, you might have someone sitting right next to you that could solve that problem. So maybe you are at the coffee bar getting a refill on your tea or coffee, and someone overhears you having some chatter about, man, I just hit this wall, I'm not quite sure what to do. They might find a team member or a friend or someone that they also don't know very well, but know enough to refer them to you. And you guys could have that collaboration in that same day, over that same cup of coffee, in that moment, not having to schedule a meeting, not having to do research, not having to wait on a referral. You're in the room with the person that can help you get over that challenge. So I think the benefit of being in a collaborative workspace is really just providing you proximity, to others who can help you grow. At Cerulean, we focus strategically on building community. We believe strongly that we're better together, and by helping each other tell their stories and really connect with their audiences, we're able to help them grow. And so I want people to know that marketing is not complicated. A lot of times they overcomplicate things, and it's really simple. It's all about finding your tribe. It's all about finding those who are interested in what you're serving. And so we are simplifying that process for people by providing them access to resources through our graphic design team, our photography team, our videography team, our copywriters. We're a one-stop shop. And so as a full-service marketing and PR firm, we really position individuals to excel. And that's how our commitment to our mission statement, We're Better Together, really was born. It's about helping one another grow.
We've covered several ways to help you create your own successful business. Now, in Success Story, we offer some inspiration.
This is Business, Equity, and Opportunities. Success Story.
This week, we explore how software genius Scott Jones went from working at MIT, creating a voicemail company and countless other inventions, to founding the 1150 Academy, a nonprofit that's teaching the next generation how to be successful software developers and cybersecurity experts.
In terms of how I got here, there's the entrepreneur side of me, which I did a lot of things as an entrepreneur as a child, including lemonade stands and haunted houses and door-to-door, all kinds of things, putt-putt courses and carnivals and all that. But really, early on, dabbling in tech, my scoutmaster was a computer science professor in 1971, which was almost unheard of. But here was this scoutmaster who lugged along a laptop that was, half as big as me. And I started to get interested, and I learned about bits and bytes. And then, but I thought I wanted to be a doctor. So I went off and studied chemistry and biology and physics and math. And in my third senior year, I decided to take a computer science course, and I just fell in love. And I always recommend to people, because I did it, do the thing that you're most passionate about. And I just fell in love with it and never looked back. So started to take all the computer science classes I could take at IU, started to help the professors with their computer systems, followed one of those professors to MIT's Artificial Intelligence Lab, started to work with the father of AI, the guy who created the Roomba, and a bunch of other really smart and famous people. And I got close to them in my early 20s. And when I went to MIT, I wasn't a student, I was a research scientist, but I decided I'm either going to do a degree or I'm going to start a company. And so I ended up meeting a guy from Harvard, and he brought the understanding of government to the table. And we were looking at the divestiture of AT&T, and AT&T was going to be allowed to do email and fax and voicemail. And so he knew all that stuff, and I knew the technology to build practically anything. And so we coupled up and started a company almost 2 years after I started at MIT. So in my first company, which I was 25 and my partner Greg was 26, we met in a study group. He was at Harvard and I was at MIT. And we had lawyers, and we were trying to write expert systems that could write contracts and put lawyers out of business. Well, we were in this study group for about 6 months and decided, we could do this, but we're probably going to get sued and never be able to start a business anyway. So Greg and I said, we seem to work well together. Let's start something. And so we started exploring things I had all kinds of ideas, and he had all kinds of ideas. So there was this thing, with AT&T, divestiture of AT&T, biggest company in the world is being broken up into 7 baby bells and a long distance company. And he had been studying that divestiture at Kennedy School of Government at Harvard. And he said there's going to be a lot of opportunities for doing all these diverse things like email and voicemail and fax. And so we went to some trade shows. And there was voicemail before me. But I looked at it and I said, I can do better. I can do a lot better. And so I went off to Walden Pond and sat there and I thought, how would I do this better? Coming in with fresh eyes, which I always recommend for entrepreneurs is don't be afraid of businesses that you don't understand yet, because you actually have an advantage to have fresh eyes on something. And so I took that perspective, with this 2 industries that have grown up separate, telecom and computers. And I was figuring out, how am I going to merge those together? And that turned out to be the core of some, if I don't say so myself, some pretty brilliant patents that changed the industry. So it's my version of voicemail. Just like Edison wasn't the first light bulb, mine was not the first voicemail, but it was the one that 2.5 billion people used. And so we explored that together, figured out we could do it better, competed against 30 companies, ran circles around AT&T themselves and IBM and all the Silicon Valley darlings as a 25 and 26-year-old from Harvard and MIT, taking on the world.
Our thanks again to all the contributors who joined us for this episode of the Business Equity and Opportunities podcast. We hope you found it enlightening, useful, and inspiring. You'll find more information about the show on our website, BEOshow.com. You can watch Business Equity and Opportunities Sunday mornings at 10 on Wish TV or live stream it through wishtv.com. Each week, we provide 7 full segments with topics ranging from how to get started and how to access capital to the day-to-day running of your business and questions about accounting and bookkeeping. We feature business news and trends and always share a success story from one of our contributors. Join us next time for more insights into the world of small business. Be sure to sign up for our Business Equity and Opportunities newsletter to get even more valuable, up-to-date information. And if you have any questions or you'd like to be part of our show, please email us. The address is beo@wishtv.com. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Scott Sander. Thanks for listening.
Watch the Business Equity and Opportunity Show on Wish TV and access all of our content and share it on demand anytime at BEOshow.com. You can find more podcasts from Wish TV on the All Indiana Podcast Network at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.